Hey, it's Gabe here, and today I wanted to talk about hedging. This is something we actually haven't done on our farm yet with a mechanical hedger. We do it practically when we're pruning, but the main thing we're wanting to do in our apples is go through with the hedger to set the width of the box. A lot of people will refer to it as setting the box. So setting the width of those trees and having uniformity. It also makes it a little quicker and easier to get light into the canopy, and reduces a little bit of the manual pruning time. In our peaches, what I plan to do if we get a mechanical hedger that's working well is to go through immediately after harvest and hedge to get light down inside so we get more fruit buds inside and down low. Something we'll have to look at in another video is how we train our peaches to be more of a two-dimensional system as opposed to an open vase. I'm standing here in our Fujis, and I chose this on purpose because our Fujis have a lot of limbs. Let me turn the camera around here. This row you can see, well, as best you can see in the video, how we've got a lot of limbs hanging out to the side that we'd like to bring in to only be about a foot from the central leader. Right now they're hanging out as far as 2 feet. Not too crazy, some of them maybe a little bit more than 2 feet, but we'd definitely like to bring it in and have some uniformity. So this guy here is probably going to need to go anyways. It's a pretty big limb, and we've got plenty. As you can see, these are a lot of control. Like I said, they have not been pruned yet this year. Over here, you can see we have pruned. There's probably still a little bit too much left, but you can see a huge difference in how open the canopy is and how much light can get in versus this other side where we have not started pruning yet. Back at the shop, show you the sickle. This is just a sickle for cutting hay. Very old. I believe that this is an Alice Chalmers. Could be wrong. Didn't put much effort into finding out exactly what it was. It was given to me by a friend. Whenever I told him that I was looking for one, he gave it to me. So this is the sickle. It's been taken off of the frame, mostly just to make it easier to move things around. We'll go over here to the frame. I've got some cutting and reconfiguring to do on this, but essentially my plan is to cut these arms off right there. And then I'm just going to make some forklift pockets, and we're just going to put it on the forks on the front of the skid steer. I've got a hydraulic motor from my Extende fabric rewinder, and we're going to put that hydraulic motor on here in place of the PTO shaft. Well, in fact, I'm going to cut the PTO shaft to connect it to the hydraulic motor. A little bit of welding there. I'm hoping maybe a half day of work, and I've got a prototype here that I can try out and see if this grass sickle is going to be able to cut little limbs. I think it is. My concern is just if I run into something big, if I'm going to start snapping off teeth left and right, especially as old as it is. So stay tuned. Walk you a little bit through the fabrication, but then we'll see how well it works in the orchard. All right, we're back. It's actually the next day. It's fabrication day. We're gonna weld up the sickle so we can put it on the front of the skid steer, and then hopefully try it out before the sun goes down. I've got about 2 hours maybe before the sun goes down on me, so we better get to work. I had some ideas overnight where I'm just going to jerry rig it a little bit more than cut and make it pretty, so it'll have equally functionality, equally as durable, but save me some time in assembly, since this is just a let's try and see it kind of thing. So I'm gonna get to work, and I'll be back when it's done. All right, here we are a week later after assembling the thing. We wound up having a ton of bad weather and too much wind to record a video. So we're here today on the Honeycrisp that are on G935 rootstock. So they're pretty leggy, and we're gonna run the hedger just down 50 feet of the row. So there's the cobbled together hedger with parts I've used off of other equipment, and spent $53 for a fitting. And you can see we've got a lot of limbs sticking out. So we're going to hop in the skid steer and mow them down. So we had some pretty good success. It just mowed right through here. I was just at idle on the skid steer most of the time. There's a couple of pretty good sized branches that it took, but you can see it just come through and made a nice hedge. Downside of the skid steer is I can't really see the bottom half of the hedger very good. I don't really know where I'm at. You can see there's a pretty good sized one. That's, I don't know, approaching the size of my thumb. And it just took it out. So overall went pretty well. Not bad for a 50-year-old hay sickle. So honestly, probably won't use it a whole lot in the apples. Learn with it a little bit, and maybe I'll learn something where I do like to use it a lot. It needs a lot of work to become a permanent fixture, a permanent piece of equipment. This was really just, I spent $53 because I needed one hydraulic fitting for attaching to the skid steer. Other than that, I used all parts I already have. So really, to put this thing completely together with the parts I have, or with more appropriate parts, is probably going to run me about $1,500, and maybe a day of my time to finish it up. Where I'll really use it a lot is in my peaches. I'm really looking forward to trying it out in the summer and going through the peaches and hedging right after harvest to get light in there so we get better fruit bud development low in the canopy. That's where I'm really looking forward to using it. We'll also take the sickle and lay it over sideways and top the peaches as well. So maybe look for an update on this video in 6 or 8 months after we've used it some in the orchard and maybe made some improvements, make it a permanent piece of equipment. But until then, that was the $53 trial. Thanks for watching.